Hello all YouTubers, I am the Weather Dude. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you all for tuning back into this presentation for June 23rd, 2019. As always, please don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell notifications. And also look in the description for other videos of mine with superior weather content that you won't find anywhere else. And how you can help out my channel is by watching the whole video. That would really help out my channel and help it to grow. So watching the whole video and also subscribing as well. Okay, and please consider going watching my other videos as well. For example, I did a poem about Hurricane Michael that hit back in 2018. I actually wrote a poem about that. That was like one of my previous videos. If you want to go check that out. Today we're just gonna simply just look and observe the tropics, kind of see what's gonna go on in the coming months in the tropics and what could be expected there. This is not gonna be a hurricane outlook per se, but it's just gonna be a look at the tropics just to see how how it's doing, see if there's anything to monitor and stuff like that. It's not gonna be like a hurricane outlook. I did do my number 8. My 8th Atlantic 2019 hurricane season outlook not too long ago as well. So this is the Western Atlantic, okay, the GFS model. Okay, I was actually kind of looking at a cluster of thunderstorms that was sitting right down here by the Lesser Antilles. It kind of looked like it had a little bit of, convection and some heavy rainfall with it, but it just looks like it's just going to drift north and just die out over the Western Atlantic Ocean. So as you can see right here, there it goes, and it's just going to die off. I just thought because, there was the high pressure out to the east, helped to give those storms kind of some spin maybe, but it just didn't really work out for them, for those clusters of storms. But see, a lot of rain bands and rain showers are going to be drifting back to the west-northwest over the next few days, but so far I don't see anything really to monitor. Maybe the Bay of Campeche, we might have something to monitor there, or the southwestern Gulf of Mexico. But really, other than that, no, at least over the next 10 days, I don't really see anything happening. At least according to the GFS model, okay, in terms of the MSLP and precip. Let's actually look at the European model and see what they're saying. Let's actually look at the cyclonic vorticities, and I just don't see anything with them either. Okay, so Tropics is staying calm. I don't believe we even had a named storm all June. Okay, maybe there's a little something up here, but that looks like it's tied to a jet stream, like a regular low pressure, not like a tropical low pressure. I don't see that one really forming either. So over in the tropical Atlantic, okay, we have some really heavy rainfall down here, some excessive rainfall. But again, it's south of the 10-degree end line, the latitude line, so it's really not going to drift north. If you want storms that could become tropical systems, you don't want them forming down here. You want them forming up here. Because that down there is it's just way too far south, in my opinion. But then you can see just everything is going to be mainly south of the 10 end line. All the convective activity is going to be well to the south, down here. So I don't really see any of that stuff drifting north. It's probably just going to go on this train westward, just heading right to South America. But what we will be seeing is a strong high pressure system that's going to just take these rain bands and just drift them down to the west-southwest. So it's something to watch. But other than that, pretty calm there. There is an invest. Let me actually go over and show it to you guys right now. There is an invest 93E over in the eastern Pacific, not too far from Cabo San Lucas in the western Mexican coastline. Okay, it's a tropical wave a few hundred miles southwest of the Gulf of Tehuantepec. I can't really say that one. It's producing disorganized showers and storms. Environmental conditions are conducive for gradual development. As I've seen a lot of the models, it could become like a tropical storm, maybe like upper tropical storm, maybe a low category 1 hurricane. But formation over the next 2 days is 50% and next 5 days is 70%. So that's a high risk. And you can see just producing excessive rainfall though. In the Pacific, got some warm waters. It's pretty, the water's pretty, it's a juicy environment as well. So that's your area kind of need to watch. But watch it just, sorry about that. So watch how it just turns from just showers and storms, and then you start to see kind of a low pressure system coming together, and kind of drifting over the eastern Pacific. Again, producing some pretty heavy rainfall, and pressures could hover around or even go below 1,000 millibars. So we'll see how that plays out. And then it just drifts out. Pressure drops below 990, and it's a pretty small storm overall. And then we might have something behind that as well. So it's going to be this train of storms heading westward. But hopefully a lot of the storms will take the direction as this one will, and just stay out in the open waters. And there's another little low out here. I don't see anything, but probably between Hawaii and Mexico. It's It's a pretty broad area. Hopefully these storms should stay away from land. You can see here goes the first storm heading to cooler waters. Gonna die off. And there's our second storm, maybe even a third storm trying to emerge off the coast too. So let's actually see what the European model does with this storm real quick. Let's go to European. Alright, let's see. So here's you can see where the storm is. Okay, European's not doing much with it at all, really. You can see there's some little rotation with that, but other than that, that's really all I see. So European's not doing much with that. So, but the GFS is saying it could be a pretty strong storm. I'm not saying you have to trust the GFS, but let's actually go to the Tropics, and you can see near the Bahamas, Cuba, the eastern Gulf of Mexico, off the coast of Georgia and South Carolina. We do have some low wind shear, and this is where the environment is going to be conducive over the next 5 days for some development, if there were to be development. Like if there were to have like a chance for a storm to develop, that would be the area where it would be conducive to develop. But let me actually take a look at the latest run of the GFS. Let's actually go to the wind shear anomalies based off of 5-day averages. It's a pretty neat graph. So you can see right here in this blue area, so lower wind shear anomalies, maybe 10 to 20 knots below average. And now we'll continue. But really the Bahamas and the Caribbean just really above average wind shear anomalies. So that's good. Maybe kind of protect that area. And a few days ago, there was actually a huge area of Saharan dust. It was like right here, and it started spiraling over the Caribbean towards like the southeast. Might have reached the southeast, helped to heat them up with that dry dust and that heat. So there was a huge area of dust helping protect against any kind of convective activity. You see, there's a little area of lowering wind shears. Maybe I really don't trust this necessarily, but I do trust them in the fact that the wind shear will certainly be low. I don't know if it's going to be as low as what they're saying. But again, here's a tropical intensity index. This is going to be your favorable area. Anywhere you see oranges or reds, yellow is like slightly unfavorable, and green is like your highly unfavorable conditions. So again, Bahamas, the southern southeast coast, maybe around Biloxi, Mobile, Tallahassee, Apalachicola, and the southwestern Bay of Campeche too, by Mexico, well west of Cancun. But again, Cuba as well, if I didn't say that already. And also the dry air over the southeast is low. Okay, looks like that air Saharan dust went spiraling up the east coast. Then you still got some dust over in the dry air over in Cuba and the parts of the Gulf of Mexico. Again, there's those little convective area I was talking about there near Lesser Antilles that should weaken. But if it strengthens, I will let you guys know. And again, here it is, Gulf of Mexico. We have some very high oceanic heat content. Yellow was like your high oceanic heat. Purple is like okay, and then blue is just like minimal. But red is like very high oceanic heat content. Here's the Invest 93E on the satellite loop. A lot of convective activity going on there. And we are actually under the influence of an El Nino watch. The next issue with this will be actually in 2 days. Okay, this was actually issued back in June 11th. So once that comes out, maybe the 25th or the 26th of June, hopefully I'll give you guys an update on what they'll be saying. But yeah, actually the next update will be in the 25th of June. That's in 2 days. So we are in an El Nino watch. That was down from when we had an El Nino alert earlier. Okay, and still 50%, which is double the normal likelihood. But so here's how it's been going. So sea surface temperatures in the tropical Pacific have hovered around the El Nino threshold since late February, with the some models suggest easing to neutral values in late winter, early spring. Most models have suggested the SSTs will remain warmer than average, with 2 models suggesting a return to El Nino levels by end of spring. So that means the potential for El Nino cannot be ruled out. Neither can neutral. I think we might have something right between a neutral and an El Nino, so a very, very weak El Nino. And so here is the trade winds. With an El Nino, the trade winds, this is like over like the equatorial Pacific, like the western and central western Pacific, are usually, the trade winds are below average with El Nino and above average with La Nina. And look at this, we do have some above average trade winds. So maybe some signs are pointing away from an El Nino as of right now. You see the trade winds are higher, which means that's really not an El Nino. I'm not saying it's a La Nina, but maybe somewhere closer to like a neutral phase. So we'll have to watch for that because higher trade wind anomalies points away from an El Nino. But the sea surface temperature anomalies aren't too bad. Okay, they're actually pretty cold. Let me actually go to the sea surface temperature, like for the world. Let me see. Here we go. And you can just see where all these blues are starting to pop up over the central and eastern Pacific. And again, that points away from an El Nino. And the sea subsurface, okay, we started to see some. You can see by this map here that I'm gonna pull up. Okay, that was back in February. Let me actually go away from that. But you can see, I do have an updated one from June 17th. But you can see, cooler than average on the sea subsurface as well. And again, here's a little map from a couple days ago. You can see more blues, indicating potentially a weakening in that El Nino. So we actually just got done being on the recent downfall. The anomalies went from like 0.6 to 0.7 above. They dropped below 0.5, and now they're on their way back up. But the anomalies, the sea surface temperature anomaly in the Nino 3-4 region, which determines the El Nino, that is actually now below 0.5 still, but it's on its way up. So here's the Western Atlantic Ocean. You can see actually by Lesser Antilles and Puerto Rico are starting to warm up a little bit. They used to be colder than average. But much of the Western Atlantic is above average, and so is the Gulf of Mexico. But the Caribbean is still a little cooler. But I think we have certainly gotten better. You can see parts of especially the southeastern Caribbean have warmed up. Western Atlantic is warmed up by Bermuda. Bermuda. It's actually cooled down, but on the mid-Atlantic coast has warmed up. Eastern Gulf of Mexico has warmed up, but the Western Gulf of Mexico has cooled down a little bit. But most of the Gulf of Mexico, actually pretty much, if not all of it, the sea surface temperatures are 29 to 30 degrees Celsius, which is around the mid to upper 80s. Okay, much of the Western Atlantic too is around 28. That's where we are for the most part. Even by the Maryland, the Delaware, and Jersey shores, probably still well into the 70s already, so that's pretty good. Georgia coastline is around 28 degrees Celsius. Here's the East Tropical Atlantic. Okay, if you don't know what the East Tropical Atlantic is, it is this region right here. It's Africa. Okay, it's between the Cuba, between the Lesser Antilles and Africa, in that tropical Atlantic area. And you can see back in the start of June, the anomalies, the sea surface temperature anomalies out in the East Tropical Atlantic were so far below average, and we just skyrocketed since the end of June. So we spent the whole month of June rising with those sea surface temperature anomalies, and they've been going up and down, but overall the trend has been up. And now the sea surface temperature anomalies in the tropical Atlantic are above average, or well above average, okay, especially right in here in the subtropics there. By the coast of Africa, we've been really cold in the anomalies for a while, but it's been getting better. Let me actually go to, here's the anomaly 7-day changes. You can see some parts of the tropical Atlantic have been getting better from where they were before. And finish it off here, sea surface temperatures. We've seen this 80-degree line, so sea surface temperatures of 80 degree plus. That has definitely been starting to advance to the north and east. Okay, so oceans are warming up. So thank you for watching this video. Again, if you want to help out my channel, please subscribe and watch all my other videos and ring the bell notifications. Thank you guys for watching. I'm The Weather Dude, signing off. Till next time.